Okay, so, hi everybody. I'm Diane MacInnes from Santa Fe, and our I I've been a member of NMPCA for a while, New Mexico NMPCA for a while, and I really enjoyed how it connects and supports artists. So I really missed during COVID we did Clay Connections, and I really missed it when we stopped.
Mm.
So, and I always thought it was a great way for us to share ideas and things that we know with one another because it's a collaborative thing. So I thought about ACN, which was Artist Conference Network, which I did with Kristen back in the 90s, and thought this is really an empowering thing for artists of any media. So I wanted to, bring that coaching model to our people in the clay community. Um, and we, I, why don't, well, we already kind of did this, but our, if we can go around and just say our name and where we're from, because some people might not have been on the chat when we were starting. Diane MacInnes, Santa Fe.
You might have to call on people because they're
Okay,
all,
Sorelda.
yeah.
Sorelda, name,
My
where are you from?
my
What?
name is Sorelda Snyder Bryan, and I live in Albuquerque.
Oh,
Okay. Kristen?
I'm Kristen Anacker and I live in Sonoma.
Judy?
I'm Judy Nelson Moore, and I live in Santa Fe.
Okay, Lori? Oh, you're on mute. Lori, you're on mute. Hit the unmute.
I'm
There we go.
Lori. I live in Albuquerque.
Darla?
Darla Graf Thompson. I live in Los Alamos.
Kate?
And I'm Kate McLean, and I live in Los Ranchos.
Aurelia?
Aurelia Gomez. I live in Santa Fe. I
Hi,
used to,
we're,
I used to
we're
teach
neighbors.
in Los Ranchos.
Ah, and phone 11.
Mary.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Mary Donato, and I'm in Albuquerque.
Okay, good.
Hi, everybody.
So we've got two guests who are not members of NMPCA, and that's Kristen Anacker from Sonoma, California, and Lori McCain from Albuquerque. Kristen and I have known each other since the 90s when we met at the Artist Conference Network and are learning coaching techniques, which were really empowering. My husband and I both were in it. My husband ended up with a published book that was not in those days, you didn't self-publish, you had to really work to get a publisher and all of that. And he ended up published book, LA Times article, a TV spot, radio spot. I mean, all this stuff came out of this shy little guy. I shouldn't say that. He's not here. It's okay.
And you know,
From
Diane,
Artist Conference.
he started that by his goal because we in the artist conference we set goals, a year goal. His goal
You're
was to
right.
go 15 minutes every morning to Descanso Gardens and take pictures.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was after he gave up going to Asia because um,
And
of
then and from
9/11,
that,
and he was
Descanso
getting
Gardens,
so hassled with all the film. Yeah. So anyway, but
and
it
from
was
that,
so
Descanso
empowering.
Garden published a book of his photos.
Right. Right. So
Great.
it was very empowering and there were so many different artists from all media. Um, So I thought it would be really nice if people, because I remember being really embarrassed in art school with critiques where people were really harsh and you felt like, oh God, I did so badly. And it sort of beat you down instead of empowering you, like, oh, I have this. And well, you'll hear it from Kristen. So I'm just going to hand it over to Kristen and she can talk about the coaching process and then give us a chance to actually experience it, which
Great.
is great.
All
Kristen, you
right.
ready? All
Hi,
right.
everybody. Yeah. Yeah. The Artist Conference Network started by Beverly in the 80s. And she was a painting teacher, drawing and painting teacher, and she had a degree in philosophy, religion, and art.
Mm.
And she came up with this. And what it really is a coaching community where we do, and in the orientation, we do 5 different kinds of coaching. And then you that and so it's an experiential thing. It's not just having a coach that which you could do. You know, I've done private coaching also, but this Beverly set this up as a coaching community. And the only thing you have to commit to be in the group is not critiquing in the space. And we're totally not against critiquing because every single person in the group will be out in the world getting critiqued. If you're working with a teacher, you're getting critiqued. If you're going to galleries, you're getting critiqued. So we totally love critiquings, but we set up a magical space when you're in the group where there's no critiquing allowed in the space. So you have to commit to no critiquing and being coachable. And not critiquing means no helpful hints, no friendly suggestions. You know what I mean? And no comparisons. And it's not just people's work, it's critiquing other people or their space or something like that. So what happens is when you can't critique, I know the same with me, my experience when I was in art school, when we did critiques, I always felt on the spot like I had to come up with something to better this person's work or something, as if there was something wrong with it, right? And this one, we have 5 coaching structures. One of the coaching structure is sharing work. It's called coaching for the creative process. And when we share work, they share work. You can't argue for your limitations. You can't say, oh, I did this, but it was, you know, when my mother was in the hospital and I didn't do very, we don't, the coaches in the room, the rest of the group, they don't let you bring that into this space right now. You're not allowed to bring that in. You have to show the work and let the work speak. And so when we ask the person questions about their work. And then in the end, we have that person acknowledge a quality of their work. And then we give it back to them verbatim. Then everyone in the room, we go around the room and everybody acknowledges. And because there's no critiquing in the space, all of us are having to learn a different way to look at your work. Acknowledgement is my experience of your work. You may write something that terrifies me, that I don't like, that scares me or something. So my acknowledgement might be, I acknowledge the drama in your work and I acknowledge that you terrified me in that piece, right? So it's my experience of the work. So not critiquing puts everybody in a different space. You have to go somewhere else in your brain to express what you're expressing. But that's only one thing. So to join the group, to be in our coaching community, you all have to agree to not, I'm not saying you guys, but we all agree to not critique and to be coachable. And then we have 5 coaching structures. We have an orientation where everybody learns. And the first one is called Coaching for Distinctions in Speaking, because a lot of our work is linguistics. So the first thing we do is we divide language up into report, interpretation, and inventive. All language is an invention that adds meaning and gives interpretation. So we do that. That's our first coaching structure. Second coaching thing we do is coaching for visions. And this is a beautiful, sweet process where everybody comes up with a vision. And a vision is a statement that evokes and brings forth what you are up to in the world. And it is a way of being only. It's a way of being, no doing in the vision. And then you're sitting in a room of visions. My favorite vision is a woman who was a writer. Her vision is, I am Celeste, the night librarian. And a friend of mine who was a contractor who wanted to be a sculptor, his vision is I am bold grace. Lori, what's your vision? Lori runs a group in Albuquerque.
What,
What's
for the first year, you mean, Kristen, or now?
anyone you want to share? All of them if you want.
Well, okay, so the first year was Cinderella meets Pablo Picasso with, and I don't remember, it was 8 years ago, okay? Cinderella meets Pablo Picasso with somebody looking on. I forget who this was. Anyway, that's it.
And
I
what's
think
yours
I have
now?
my vision somewhere in the other
You
room.
do you remember yours? I should have told you to
No,
bring.
but you know what? You guys keep talking. I'm
Yeah.
going to see if I think it's in the other room. I
Do
think
you
it's
do you know your vision? What's your vision now,
three
Lori?
dimensional.
Oh, my vision now is the quiet breath of peaceful
Wow.
presence.
Wow. Somebody in my group is his new vision is the fire in the belly.
Mm.
And my vision right now is wild child Queen Epiphania. So we get a vision, and because there's no critiquing in this space, whatever you say, everybody goes, okay, cool. You know, it's like when we were kids and we made shit up, right? And but now you're sitting in a room of visions. You know what everybody's up to in a way. And so that's our second coaching structure. Did you get it? All right.
I found it. I haven't looked at it in decades. I am the goddess Diana, serene-hearted voice of divine wisdom and healing. Oops.
Woo!
Anyway.
Wow. Wow. And we get a new vision once a year. And we set goals once a year too. But it's a way of being in the world. We don't want to add on, and it's a language of poetry. It's evocative. It's not something you're going to say at a cocktail party, right?
Well,
And
maybe if you've had a few, right?
yeah, right. And then everybody's like, okay, crazy woman. But it's almost like it. I experience when we're in the room of visions that like jealousy and competitive kind of just goes away. You know, it's a really wonderful experience. When I got my first vision, I was living in Northern California. I was married to a rock star, made all of his costumes, and he left me for a groupie. And I went to bed and covered my head up. I said, I'm never going to make costumes again. And Beverly called me up and said, oh, come take the artist conference. And I was like, leave me alone. And she goes, oh, what if I promise to change your life? And I go, leave me alone, Beverly. I was so mad at her. And it cost $300 back then. And I went to waitress work that night where I made $50 a night and I made $300. So I said, all right, I'll do it. So the minute I got my first vision, I swear to God, birds and rainbows flew overhead, and I saw myself with Fellini in LA. So my first goal was to go to LA, not knowing what the hell I was doing, but that was my first goal. And I did go to LA and I became a costume designer, which I never would have done ever in a million years. But because the different kinds of coaching in this group, part of it is working that inventive muscle, right? So Psyche was able to come in and have me see something in a way I'd never seen it or thought before. You know, never had that thought before to go to LA. So anyway, then we do a vision. So the first thing is distinctions in speaking, which is a linguistics thing. It's foundation of our later coaching. Then we all get a vision, which is a statement of being on the most fundamental level. Then we do coaching for a goal. And the reason we do it after the vision is because our goal will be commensurate with our vision. And we do a visualization where we take you to, you know, a creative space, and it's very fun and blah, blah, blah. And you come back with a year goal, a goal for a year. And oh, I want to read a quote from Beverly right now. Some place within us all, aliveness stirs with innocent mischief. In this embarrassingly childlike place resides the source of our authenticity, our uniqueness, our sweetness, our vision, our maximum potential power. As we align our skills with our full creative power and vision, we gain access to mastery. In mastery, the target is hit before the arrow is released. So we set a year goal. And because it's so goddamn far away, we have a tendency to set these ridiculous goals, right? And we love to set goals. We love to work on setting goals that you might not know how to do, right? And then after we set the year goal, we break it into quarterly goals. So we set a year goal and then our first quarter goal, which is a 3-month goal. And we have meetings. It's different with different groups, but say you have a meeting twice a month where you share work. And at the 3-month goal period, we have a celebration for to see if you got your 3-month goal. And of course, your 3-month goal is biting off part of that year goal. And if you get your goal, we hoot and holler and clap and scream. And if you don't get your goal, we hoot and holler and clap and scream. Then those are the 3 coaching things we do on Saturday. Then on Sunday, we come in and we have breakthrough coaching. And breakthrough coaching is a process such that you go through it and no longer remember who you used to be. And it is on Sunday, you come in, you go, what the hell was I thinking setting a goal like that? I can't do that. I can't go into a gallery. I'm afraid. I got an F in art school, whatever your stories are. And we have a process that Beverly got from Fernando Flores, who was a minister of finance in Chile under Allende. And when Pinochet came and killed everybody, he was home from work that day sick. They took him in solitary confinement and tortured him. Amnesty International got him out. He came to America and he went to Berkeley and Stanford and studied linguistics. And he set up this coaching structure with different domains, the psychological domain and the creative domain. And we take your story and we process it. And Beverly put big pieces of paper on the floor with the psychological domain and the creative domain, and you stand in the psychological domain. I'm giving you the real shortened version here. This is you basically because a story, and this is what Beverly said too, a story told as the truth is deadening. A story told as a story begins to have some movement. A story told as a story committed to the rigors of form has possibility of transformation. So we take your story, and when you said, I can't be an artist. I got an F in art school. I can't be an artist. My sister's the artist and I'm not. I can't be an artist. I'm scared to death of gallery owners. They're mean. They're all mean. And then we have you stand in the center in observation and say all that as a story. I have a story that I can't be an artist because I got an F in art school. So you hear the difference between I can't be an artist, I got an F in art school, and I can't be an artist. I have a story, I can't be an artist. So we do this process like that. And people have huge breakthroughs and step into the creative domain. And the most important thing is we ask you, who are you being in that story? So here's that beingness stuff again. So I have a story, I can't be an artist. I got an F in art school. So Kristen, who are you being in that story? Walking around the world with that story. Oh, I'm being like kind of a victim of the system, I guess. And then because we're artists, we step into the creative domain and make up a new way of being. I am Picasso's daughter. We just make shit up, right? My friend in LA was a costume designer. She was married to kind of a famous director, and he left her. She hadn't worked in a year. She gained 20 pounds. She was depressed. She wanted to kill herself. I said, come and take the weekend. She came and took the weekend, loved it, calls me next week and says, I just got this huge job interview, but I'm not going to go to it. And I go, get over here. So I put her in the psychological domain on a big piece of paper. And I said, tell me about it. She goes, Frank left me. I gained 20 pounds. I haven't worked in a year. And there's going to be tons of big designers going out for this. It's Steve Soderbergh, tons of big designers. So I had her stand in observation. Speak that as a story. I have a story. I can't go out for this job interview because I gained 20 pounds. I have a story. I can't go out for this job interview because I haven't worked in a year. I have a story. I can't go out for this job interview because there's going to be tons of big designers going out for this. Who are you being in that story? She says, oh, I'm being kind of worthless. I'm being a worthless piece of shit. Okay. So, I said, who else might you be? Step into the creative domain. And over in the creative domain, we have this brilliant thing that Fernanda Flores came up with called a stand, which is a word act, which is a conscious commitment to a way of being not based on anything you already know. So she stood over there and she says, all right, I'm a breath of fresh air. And that was her stand, right? Kind of like the vision in a way, but it's a stand. So now she's a stand. So her unconscious commitment was that she was a worthless piece of shit, right? She could have gone to Nordstrom, got $1,000 outfit, got her makeup done, her hair done, got a fake resume, and gone into that job interview with an unconscious commitment to being worthless piece of shit, right? But we brought it to the surface. We asked her who she was being. She stepped in and made up a new way of being. She went to the job interview and got the job. And 2 months later, I was in Austin, Texas with her on set, standing next to the director, Steven Soderbergh. And he turned to her and said, you know, Karen, I had a lot of big designers wanted this job, but you know, I was just looking for a breath of fresh air.
Oh my God.
So this process, what's beautiful about this is that we're not trying to make the bad shit go away. We bring it up and ask you who are you being in that story, you know? Oh, men always leave me. I just can't, you know, it's because my mother left, my father always left my mother, you know, whatever. Or I broke my fingernail playing pickleball. Doesn't matter what story is you bring in. Who are you being walking around in the world? Men hate me, because my father left my mother. Who are you being in that story? Or who are you being in that story? I can't be an artist because I got an F in art school. We don't care. And the beauty of it is we don't, if it was a normal group, like a support group, we'd say, oh no, Kristen, you really are a good artist. You know, oh no, Kristen, you shouldn't be afraid to go into a gallery. I'll go with you. You know what I mean? None of that, because to be a coach, you cannot be enrolled in their story. And it's brilliant because it saves the coaches from being like friggin' codependents, right? It's a safety for us. It's a structure. The whole thing's a structure. And so that's sort of a quickie of our breakthrough coaching. And then we have everybody gets a partner for every quarter you shift partners, but for one quarter you have a partner, and we have this brilliant notebook, a member's handbook that has partnership questions in it. And you call your partner and you ask questions once a week. Takes about 10 minutes. You just ask them the questions they ask you. And it's kind of a quickie taking you through that breakthrough coaching. So you bring up any stories that you have right now, you know, oh, somebody said my piece was ugly. I'm going to kill myself, you know, whatever it is. And then they go, well, who are you being in that story like that? And so that's a process. That's part of the process. Then the very last thing we do is we share work. And we have in that book also, we have different questions to ask the artist once they share their work. So you time the work, then you time them, everybody claps, then you ask them the questions and they get acknowledged. And it's breathtakingly beautiful because the people acknowledging are having to look at what they're experiencing. Not, oh my God, I better come up with some way to make their work better, right?
Mm.
And you can't use any language when you're acknowledged, and you can't use any comparison languages, any critique language, any, oh my God, that's much better than your work was last week. Or, you really should try to use a different blue in there. You can't do any of that. It's verboten. It's not allowed in this space. So it makes you have to shift your brain functions, really. And some of the questions we ask, like when you share work, we might ask a question like say I showed this painting, we might ask the question, what was your intention in that piece?
Mm.
And you might say, my intention was to see if I could have gold shine through the green. Or my intention was to see if I could get this deep blue in this. Or my intention was to see if I like orange and blue together. Or my intention was to see if I could make a pot without it falling flat. Doesn't matter, whatever your intention was. And then the next question might be, in terms of those intentions, what do you say you accomplished? Dig underneath the obvious answer and see what you can declare. See, we're pushing for more inventive. I say I accomplished magnificence, right? And then the next question might be, out of doing this work, what further or new possibilities do you see for your work? Or what do you stand for in your work? Or, things like that. The questions are great for that because it really lets you experiment with what you answer. And it puts you out farther in the universe kind of thing. And then so that's the 5 coaching structures that we do.
Can we experience it?
Yeah, we could do one. Let's have Lori talk, and then she can, because she needs to go early.
Oh, yeah.
Lori, well, you tell them. I was going to say you came from that, you took the Oakland group and all that, but you should tell them that.
Okay. Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm delighted to meet you guys, and I'm particularly delighted to see that some of you live in Albuquerque because I don't like driving to Santa Fe. Okay, enough said about that. So here is a story, not in the context in which Kristen was using it. I'm going to tell you a story. So when I was about 7 or 8, my sister and I think this was a common experience for many sisters. We received the same Christmas presents every year. We received the same presents every year. So this particular year, we received each of us a bag. You may remember the bag of stretchy loops that you put on the metal frame to make pot holders, right?
Oh,
Diane, you escaped. I can't believe it. Anyway,
I remember.
so we both, we each had a horse. So we each got a bag of loops with which to make pot holders. And I was going, pot holders? I don't think so. I had this clear and compelling vision. It was like so clear. A bridle for my horse. I'm going to use stretchy loops to make a bridle for my horse. Well, I didn't have enough stretchy loops in my bag. And I can't remember to this day if I asked permission or if I just said, I'm going to take them anyway. Anyway, I grabbed her bag and my bag because I needed 2 bags to make this horse. Horse is big, right? And so I think I got walloped for that, but I don't really remember. But anyway, so what this brings up for me is this idea that Kristen quoted Beverly Casella as saying, aliveness stirs with innocent mischief. Aliveness stirs with innocent mischief.
That would be you.
Like, yep, that would be me. So, oh well, that was great. Great experience. So fast forward 65 years, more or less, to my retirement from the University of California. I spent a year kind of just struggling and suffering. It's like, oh, what should I do? I should go back to work. I should get in the private market. I should make more money. I should be more responsible. So I had a few contracts and it was really a drag. I wasn't having fun. And so finally, I had the wisdom to ask myself this very important question. When am I happy? When am I happy? I'm happy when I'm making things with my hands, which had nothing to do with my entire previous life, right? Not to mention, my tenure at the university. So anyway, yeah, so I started making small pieces of art. And when anybody asks me, so, oh, you're retired, what are you doing? I'm going, I'm making art. I'm making art. This very small person, very small voice. Oh, I'm making art. No art training, zero, nada, nothing. Yeah. So a year or so later, neighborhood neighbor casually mentioned to me, oh, you're making art? You should see about this thing, ACN. Going, ACN? Okay, whatever. She gave me Kristen's phone number, and I talked with Kristen for an hour. That was it. I was in. I signed up for the first year. And my first year goal, and by the way, Kristen, I did remember my vision finally while you guys were talking. My vision was Cinderella meets Crusader Rabbit.
Oh,
Picasso looking on. So Cinderella meets Crusader Rabbit with Picasso looking on. So that was my vision. And my first year goal was like, it was over the top. It was like, I'm going to have a professional website within a year. I'm going to have business cards. I'm going to have letterhead. I'm going to have two shows. Never done a show in my life. I'm going to have two shows. So that was my first year. That was some number of years ago. I was with the Oakland ACN group because that was the closest one to me. And so having moved to New Mexico 7 years ago, of course, I was making art. I was finding my way into the art scene, and the art scene, as you know, I mean, is huge in New Mexico. So that was a big thing. And one of my favorite things to go to was the Santa Fe Recycled Art Market, because that's what I make. I make things out of found objects, or anything that's gifted to me, or anything that I'm walking along the sidewalk. I go, oh, I'm going to take that home with me. Thank you. So I got my annual, blurb on the email about the art market, and it said, oh, we have a new, what is it called? Oh, we have a new event this year. It's called the Adult Juried Art Exhibit. I'm going, what's that? You can submit up to 3 pieces, and they'll choose one. And then if they do choose one, then you get, I haven't seen it yet. I'll see it tomorrow, but it's like, so it's near the entry, which is great because the convention center is huge and there's so much going on there. But this group of people, the Adult Juried Art Exhibit, they're towards the front doors. So that's really great. So the thing that, as I'm thinking back on that, the thing that's interesting to me is that when I saw that, after so many years of going to the art market and seeing all this fabulous work, I didn't think, oh, I don't know, maybe I'm not good enough. Yes, no, maybe so. And what if I don't get in? I didn't have any of those feelings or thoughts. I just had this stand. I am a maker of recycled art. That's my stand. I'm a maker of recycled art. And it wasn't as important to me getting in or not getting in. What was important to me was how I felt about it. I just felt this sense of curiosity and enthusiasm and like, well, all right, let's see what happens,
fabulous.
It didn't have all that baggage, all that, oh, what if this, what if that, I'm not good enough, blah, 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 blah. So I did get one piece accepted. So I'll be there tomorrow delivering it, and then, doing my thing as a volunteer, etc. So I just, it's been a very amazing journey for me. And I'm so grateful to ACN and to Kristen for.
Well, and Lori, she came to Albuquerque 6 years ago. She said, I have to start a group here. Has to be live, cannot be Zoom. And she started a group. It's been 6 months now. She started a group.
It only took me 6 years to get it going.
I know. And you did it. Yeah.
And so I'm really excited about that. Well, every group is amazing in its own way. We're very small. We're starting out, but we're very enthusiastic and very different in everything that we do. But we really enjoy convening in the context of ACN. So
Thank you,
What different media are people in your group?
what are the media? Okay, this is really interesting. One woman who was just starting out was Sumia brush painting, and she was just starting out, and she thought, this is way too hard. I'm never going to be able to do this. Why am I wasting my time? She is now, this is after 6 months, an accomplished Sumia artist. Her brushwork is amazing. We all just go, oh.
And then there's a poet. Maggie's a poet.
Then Maggie's a poet. And that was Liz, Maggie, me, found objects, recycled art, you, Kristen, writer. Oh, and Mary, who is kind of a multifaceted artist. She does all kinds of things. But when I first talked to her about ACN, she goes, oh, I'm not really an artist. Well, luckily she came to the intro, and so she decided to join, and she has exploded into all these different forms that she's exploring. She came back from Hungary, a 3-week wool tapestry, 3 weeks in Hungary. I mean, she's just totally dived in and making
And then Britt is a grief counselor.
So this is an interesting piece. So
Britt is what? I didn't hear that.
A grief coaching. She does grief coaching.
That's right, yeah.
And this came out of the sudden and totally unexpected loss of her husband to a heart attack some 3 years ago, only 3 years. Wow. And in the process of struggling with her own grief and sorrow and finding her way to come back into the world, she realized this is a gift that I could offer to other people. And so she came into the group with the idea of creating a talk, right, Kristen?
Yeah, that's her goal. Her goal is a talk.
Yeah, to be able to share with people what she's doing, and also to generate some business and start bringing in some clients. So even it wasn't art per se, but writing is an art, speaking is an art, public presentation is totally an art. So in our little group, she's had a great opportunity to engage and practice with what she's offering to the world.
We had a woman in the original Oakland group, Berkeley. She was a scientist at the university, and all the professors were stealing her work, and she was always angry and pissed and stuff. We were always coaching her, and she used to bring. She did flowering plants of the rainforest research, and she'd come in with all this data, and we'd just gloss over and look at it, So she started color coding her experiments and bringing it to the group and showing it, right? She comes in one day and she's on the cover of Science magazine. It says, "Young woman scientist invents new color coding experiments."
So, I think that if you guys have any questions, great. If you don't, that's great. I need to go.
You need to leave. I wanted to ask you tomorrow at the recycle thing. When are you coming?
I'm going to be there. I think we have to drop off our work between 12 and 2. I'd have to look that up. It's either 12 and 2 or 2. I think it's 12 and 2. Yeah, because they need to set it up for the Friday night big event, right? So I'll be there between 12. I'll be there dropping it off, but I'm not going to stick around. But on Sunday, I'm going to be there all Sunday afternoon. So
fabulous. Thank you, Lori.
Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys, and thank you so much. And
so basically,
thanks for being
Lori,
here. That was really sweet of you to share.
Yeah, Lori basically started a group in Albuquerque, and she's the group leader in the Albuquerque group.
Yeah,
and it was quite a feat that she did that.
It was quite an effort.
And the group is amazing. Liz said that she never would have done Sumia except for doing the artist conference weekend when she invented that idea. And now she's
so I'm just I'm delighted in that I have a group now in New Mexico, in Albuquerque. And of course, we're not limited to Albuquerque. Anybody who in Santa Fe want to join us, it'd be great. Anybody in Albuquerque want to join us, that'd be great. Kristen can tell you how to get in touch with me if you want to talk more about that. So thank you so much. Enjoy.
Lori.
Thank you, Lori.
Thank you, Lori.
Nice to finally meet you.
Right.
Okay, so
I might show up on Sunday.
Okay, great. Okay.
we probably have like 15 minutes or something, right?
Well, we have more than that. It's only 5:55.
Oh, I thought that we have to be done at 6.
Well, we ought to have some experience, I think.
Okay, so there's 2 things we could do. I was thinking does anybody have anything they want to say or questions or anything? I'm going to do, there's like the very beginning of the weekend, we do this simple exercise where we go around the room. It's a coaching exercise. Or we could also do maybe one person's vision too, maybe afterwards. Because I couldn't do everything.
It'd be nice for everybody to get a chance to do something.
So let's do the one thing that we could do.
If they want to.
Oh, yeah. It's very simple. We call it the introduction. And is everybody okay if there's some coaching involved, even though you don't know what that means? Everybody okay with that? Raise your hand. Yeah, okay, good. Great. So what we're going to do, this is the exercise. You're going to say your name, you're going to say your creative area, and you're going to say what brings you here, okay? So, Sorelda, let's start with you.
Okay, my name, Sorelda, my creative endeavor, illustration, and what brings me here is...
Hey, wait, stop. So this is going to be the first coaching thing. And this is a language thing. So you said, I think you said endeavor, right?
Illustration?
Yeah, you said my creative endeavor is illustration.
Did I? I guess I did.
Yeah. So
I'm a pretty spacey person.
In the coaching, we would remove endeavor because that's sort of bringing into us that you're just trying for it. And this is sort of an exercise to list like people come in, they list grandmother, pottery, cooking, they list everything. And some people come in and say, I really want to be a photographer because my father was a photographer. We take all of the disclaiming or anything that tones it down out and list it with authority. So you would say illustration. Oh,
Yeah,
aren't you a potter?
Yeah. Well, I illustrate on clay and on paper.
Oh, well, let's put everything. So let's say illustration and illustration on pottery?
Yes, illustration on clay and on paper.
Fabulous. See, thank you. Thank you. And that was a little tweaky coachy thing, right? Okay. Now, what brings you here, you think?
And what brings me here is my community, including Diane, who I've known, and she's talked about this before to me years ago. That's what brings me here.
And what do you think is in that you so community brought you here maybe then?
Community, for sure. Yep.
And if you had like community, what do you think would happen? What's a possible thing?
If I had it, I have it.
I know you have it.
Yes. And
what's the possibility of community?
Joy, camaraderie, support, fun.
It's great. Yeah. Yeah. And if you had joy, camaraderie, community, support, and fun, what would happen?
Yeah, what happens is I'm free. I'm free in my own honoring my muse.
Wow. And if you honored your muse, what would happen?
The muse comes again.
The muse comes again.
Yep.
Yeah. So what brings you here might be, and this is out of context of the way I usually do it. So, because what happens in my experience when it's a official weekend, they're coming for the weekend, right? And it's quite wonderful because what happens is people say, what brings me here is camaraderie and support and fun and the muse. And I say, and what would happen? And they'll say something like, I would finish my book or I would have a show. You know what I mean?
Oh, cool, huh?
It sets up the weekend, what brings them here. And
Mhm.
sometimes people cry because they've never been able to speak that they want to show kind of thing. So this is a little muted because we're not all here. We all haven't come to be in this group, right?
Yes.
So thank you for that. So you're here for the muse.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
That
you.
was beautiful, Cirelda. I love that.
And Diane, your name, your creative area, and what brings you here?
Oh, me. Okay, Diane. Uh, and my creative area is sculpture, hand built. And what was the last one?
Well, is that the only
What brings me here?
is that the only creative area you're gonna?
Oh,
It's okay. I'm just checking with you.
oh, I could talk about a lot of other things. Besides my sculpture, I write,
Right?
but, hmm,
Photography.
hmm, my sculpture. Everything's connected.
Okay.
And it's funny because it's connected to this, which was so long ago, but the serene hearted voice of divine wisdom and healing. And I feel like I sculpt in that way
Hmm.
with the intention, I sculpt with the intention of allowing something to come up and come through the face or the gesture of the being that I'm making.
Whew. And what is that then? What would you call that? Are you saying you're maybe healer?
Well,
And we're
it's
making this up and there's no
maybe revealer,
reveal.
because
Okay.
it's not necessarily
Okay. So,
healing.
okay. So now what we're going to do for coaching is we're going to list eh, every creative area that you do with authority without adding, but maybe I do this and blah, blah, blah. So we're going to list it with authority. So we've got sculpture, we've got revealer,
Mhm.
right?
Connector.
Connector. Okay, great. 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 That's your creative
um,
area. Connection.
Connection. Yeah,
Okay, good. Good.
yeah,
Okay.
that's
So what
definitely
brings you here, Diane?
uh, the urge to connect, but also to share something wonderful that is empowering with others.
Mm. And so if you shared something wonderful that is empowering to others, what would happen, you think?
People would, um, it's like watering a plant, then the plant starts to just come alive and people would come alive and are, it would be
So maybe what
delightful.
brings you here is to come alive.
No, I think that's not quite it.
Okay.
Uh, Um, I just love seeing people thrive. I
You're,
don't
you're
know.
here,
I
you're
just,
here
I
for
love that.
you're here for people to thrive. And you're
Yeah,
maybe
I
you're
would
here
say
to
that.
thrive.
Yeah.
Maybe you're here to thrive and have people thrive around you.
To thrive myself,
Mhm.
but yeah, yeah.
Wow. Thank you. Wow. Wow. Okay, Darla, your name, your creative area, what brings you here?
So I'm Darla, and my creative area would be sculpture, expression, emotion,
Wow.
color.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
I also write,
Okay.
so some kind of and I've been painting a little bit with encaustics, so wax painting.
Love those. Okay.
So some kind of like just crystallization of your experience, like some kind of just the expression and
Great. See, now see how she said just and it's some kind of. So in this coaching, we're going to take all that language out of here and we're going to say, I'm a sculptor. I I express, I I'm a colorist, would we say? Maybe? Could we say that? Colorist. I'm a writer. I'm a painter, a caustic painter. And I'm what could we say for
uh,
expression?
yeah, I like to create crystallized like expression, right? Thing you create an object that someone else gets to experience.
Crystallized expression. Wow. My creative area is crystallized expression.
Like that.
And see, and all we did was take out kind of, and I want to, you know what I mean? And it's just a very, very tiny, simple exercise where we're learning to take out disclaimers, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. And
I like that.
declare it with authority. And it's amazing what happens, over time, where pretty soon people are just speaking in mission statements. You know what I mean? People
Yeah.
can really talk about their work. Crystallized expression. That's amazing. Okay, what brings you here?
Um, Similar to what Lori said, I retired a few years ago, so I feel like everything changed. And I was a scientist. I'm a scientist, so my motivations changed, my time changed, my schedule changed. I feel like I'm looking for renewed motivations.
Wow. So I'm just going to ask you on the side. If you had renewed motivation, what do you think would happen? What would
I
that look
would
like?
feel more satisfied.
Oh, you'd be satisfied. So you're here for satisfaction.
That's right.
Good. That's great.
Uh,
There's a scientist in Lori's group. She's amazing to talk to.
I think you're looking for self-satisfaction, balance, your own joy.
You're looking for joy, balance, and self-satisfaction. What brings
And
you?
just the idea that you can learn from your colleagues, from other people. So
Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Wow. Thank you. Great. Okay. So we've got Kate, right?
Sure.
Is she Kate? Yeah, great. Great. Yeah. So your name and your creative areas.
So I'm Kate, and let's see, my creative area is working with clay.
Okay.
Um,
Is that all of your, do you have other things you?
yeah, I have lots of other things.
Oh, let's list them. Come on, put them on the list. You declare them.
I love shapes and forms and color and texture.
Wow. Okay.
And so
And that's all, you do all that in clay, or do you
I
do that
do
in other
do
media?
that in clay, but I also do some mosaics.
Oh, you do mosaics like with ceramics? I mean,
Well, sometimes with ceramics, but sometimes with tessera tiles. So,
Great, great, great. So mosaic, what else? Do you want to list some more stuff?
and I'm not doing it anymore, but I used to weave,
Great,
knit and weave.
great,
Textiles are of interest for me. So
great. So see, now we're going to take all that I used to, these things are interesting. No, seriously, it's fine. It's good. It's great. But in this practice, because see, it's all about language in this practice. So I am what would you say? How would you say, a clay artist or
well,
uh,
that's what I'm trying to get
how would
myself
we
to
call
say.
that? How could we label that?
Clay artist.
Is that
Clay
good? Is
artist.
that right? Or a sculptor?
Yeah, I use the term clay artist because my sculptures are not figurative. I
Oh, I love it.
much more
See all the
interested.
language she's got here? She's got all these stories about they're not figurative and all that stuff.
No,
So
well,
you're
they're
a
organic. They're
Well, would you be
organic. They're
willing,
not
would you be
human.
willing to say I'm a sculptor?
Um,
Or what word would work for you?
yeah, I think I like the term clay artist.
Clay artist. Okay, I'm a clay artist. I do mosaics, weaving, knitting, and textile art. Is that correct?
Yes.
Woohoo! It's pretty impressive. Okay, now what brings you here?
I think it's just I was really interested in hearing from others what drives their
Wow.
creativity, their creative passions.
Yeah.
And really just looking for it ebbs and flows for me quite a bit. And
Beautiful.
so I'm in an ebb, right?
So
right
maybe
now.
what brings you here is creative passion.
Yeah, well, yeah, and
And we're
creative-
playing around here. We're making,
creative
you know,
drive.
creative drive. So that's great. Let's say what brings you here is creative drive. But let me ask you also, if you had creative drive, what do you think would happen? What would that look like? What would happen?
No, maybe more consistency in my production of art, my making of my art.
And if you had consistency in the making of your art, what would that look like, you think? What would happen?
I think it would probably change my identity for myself.
Oh, okay.
Big.
And if your identity changed, what would happen? That's brilliant.
I think there's a freeing of that.
A freedom.
A freedom, yeah. It's a certain freedom and a flow.
Yeah.
A flow.
So maybe what brings you here is freedom and flow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. And it's almost like we're kind of this exercise, like I said, is the first thing I do on a weekend. And it's almost like we're putting it into the universe, this big golden pot we're putting stuff in. And you put in freedom and flow. It's great. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Kristen, I'm looking at time,
Okay.
and our Sorelda mentioned that she added another amount of time into the Zoom. So if we need to go over, we can, but it would be lovely if everybody got a chance, I think. That's the most
Okay, we
important.
just have 3 more. We'll do them, okay? Is that all right?
Aren't there 2 more?
Yeah, we have until
No, we have-
7:30.
What about
7:30.
Mary? Did Mary go away?
Oh,
She went away, I
oh,
think.
Mary left.
She was
Yeah.
here just a
Oh.
second ago. She must have, you scared her off when you told her there was more time. No, she was there just a minute. When I started Kate, she was still here. I was going to do her next. Okay. Tell me how to say your name.
Aurelia.
Aurelia. God, beautiful.
Aurelia.
Aurelia. Okay. Your name, your creative areas, and what brings you here.
Okay, so my name is Aurelia. I have a lot of creative areas. Primarily right now, I'm working with ceramics. I paint, I
Wow.
write, I sew, I knit. Um, I make things. I make a bunch. I like making things.
I make things. Great.
Make things.
Perfect.
I'm a maker. I'm a maker.
Maker. Great. Okay, so now give us that list with all the, oh, I have a lot of things and I don't do this, I do that kind of thing. Just give it to
Okay, so the
us.
straight list. Right.
Uh-huh.
Okay, ceramics, painting, writing, sewing, knitting,
And making.
and making.
Fabulous. Yeah.
And
There's a
teaching.
difference. You got
Teaching. I have to add teaching too.
great. Okay. And teacher. Great. Beautiful. Thank you for that. Okay, now what brings you here?
So I am really interested in finding different ways to talk about artwork.
Wow.
I feel like when I make work, I like putting it out in the world because it's a way of having like a conversation. And we have these, sometimes I feel like the ways that we can communicate around our work are very limited because of the structure of our society. So for me, I really like having opportunities to find new audiences, new ways to talk about the work, new ways to explore the work.
Wow.
So,
What is that? What is this you're talking about? If you had
so
all that, if you had expression, a way to talk to people, uh, uh, different, different conversations with people,
well, it
what
would
would happen? What would happen?
I feel like, okay, so it's like there would be more external conversations and more internal conversations. So it's
You're
almost
talking
like
about your internal or other people's internal?
well, both actually,
Okay, internal.
both.
Okay,
It
so
would
now
be
you've
like,
got
it's
more
like,
internal and external conversations.
yeah, I think when people look at art, they learn about themselves, they reflect about
Yes,
themselves.
yes.
Right? And they learn about the artist. And when you're showing your work, you learn about what other people see. It's a deepening of connection. So that's really okay. So deepening of connection,
That's what brings you here is deepening of connection.
deepening of
I'm gonna
connection. Yeah.
cry. It's beautiful. Wow. Thank you.
Thank
Wow.
you.
Woo. Woo.
Mm.
Okay, Judy, your name, your creative area, and what brings you here?
I'm Judy. I'm a ceramic sculptor. I'm a creative sewer. I do mixed media with my ceramics. I help other people. I lend them my experience in computers
Wow.
and in paper clay
Paper
and
clay.
try and find ways to help them realize their goals.
Wow. Did you say paper clay?
Yes, I mix paper pulp into the clay.
Fabulous. So we call that paper clay, right?
That's right. And
Okay. So,
then you fire it and it's like regular clay.
oh, it sounds wonderful. Okay, so ceramicist, sewer, mixed media. Now, should we call you a teacher or is that distinct from a helper?
I have taught classes.
So could we call you a teacher?
I guess, yes, we could.
But it would have to be a teacher of
Well,
computer
I've taught clay classes as
and
well
clay.
as computer classes. And I volunteer with the Women in the Arts.
And you do teaching with that too? Would you say teacher? Or
I'm their IT person. I'm their systems
IT.
person.
Right. So let's put IT systems person. So IT systems person, ceramicist, sewer, mixed media, teacher, and paper clay is a medium, right? So we're gonna
Yeah.
So that's one of your
Mediums, yes,
yeah, that's one of your mediums is paper clay.
yes.
So we've got paper clay, ceramics, sewing, mixed media, teacher, and IT systems person. Is that
Yes.
true? Is that correct?
Yes.
Amazing. Great. Great. See the authority when you really she declared it, right?
Yeah, listening to everybody else, I was formulating how can I
Yeah.
make it
Because you
straight.
could have said, well, I kind of help people and I kind of, do this. Instead, you said, I'm an IT system person. I'm a teacher. So it's the language again. This is a coaching thing in using our language. The very first step in our process. Okay, what brings you here, Judy?
To this meeting, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, yeah, or to the world, to the universe, whatever. You can,
Curiosity.
you can see we kind of got out into the ether a little bit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I
If
like that curiosity. Huh.
My answer is curiosity.
that is so cool. What brings you here is curiosity. And if you had curiosity, what would happen?
I always have
You
curiosity, and
always have curiosity.
it keeps me alive.
Wow. So you're here. What brings you here is curiosity and being alive.
Yes.
Fabulous. Thank you. Awesome. Okay.
That
That
was
was,
wonderful.
yeah, that was a very simple little thing.
There was something else you mentioned. You
Vision.
wanted to do that and then, oh, a vision.
But I could only do like it take longer. I mean, I think we only have
Oh,
8 minutes now.
right. And yeah, but I feel like I want to go on forever.
It's just been very nice, very wonderful. I'm going to have to
Yeah.
leave, but
Okay.
I really
Well,
Oh, nice
appreciate.
to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
yeah.
Kristen. It's very enjoyable, very interesting, very satisfying for my curiosity.
Oh, good.
Judy, before you go, I just wanted to say if people can, I wanted suggestions for, the next Clay Connections, because this is a collaborative process of connecting. And there might be other things, today was coaching, but it might be materials or I don't know what it could be. In the past, we've done tools. What are some of the ones we did, Judy? Do you remember in the past?
We've done a number of things. We did a thing on how to price your work. We've done a
Oh,
thing
yeah.
That's good. That's great.
on tools, different tools. We've done
And
a
everybody
thing.
brought a tool to the meeting and shared their tool.
Different,
Yeah.
different tools
Good.
that we might
That's
use,
great.
because
It's
sometimes the
great.
tools are not something you buy in a ceramics store. Sometimes they're things you find on the street. But
Yeah, like my
but
favorite tool is this one right here, my thumb.
yeah, the fun.
I had in high school, the only place I liked was art class. And when we did ceramics, my teacher was from Russia, Mr. Madzel, and he had little short, fat fingers. And he said, don't make anything that's more than 2 inches thick, carve it out. Don't have any bubbles in your clay, and show me your soul.
Oh, yeah,
And we were
I
in high
like
school.
that.
I was just like, it was such a great thing for a high school student to hear.
Mm, yeah.
Okay,
Serelda, were you going to say something?
thanks, guys.
So she
Yeah, thank you.
suggestions.
But I'd love to get some ideas for other clay connections and, how often or if anybody has something to bring in that they'd like to talk about or get together on. And if you can't think of anything now, you've got my email address. It's in the chat, and you can write any comments or suggestions for another meeting. Because this was the one thing I had that I wanted to share, but you guys might have something. Anything?
Anything?
Anything you'd like to, if you were to continue Clay Connections, what would you want?
Okay, I'll speak up. I like sharing an actual piece that we're working on.
That's a great idea.
Thank you, Kristen.
That's a great.
That is nice. Share a piece and maybe talk about what your intention was, or
Mhm.
So I'm super workshop oriented, and I am really interested in finding out different ways that people approach really simple things like hand building a cup, or what happens to me is I learn how to do something and then I do it. And I tend to do the same. How do I want to say this? With functional, so I do like sculptural work and functional work. And with functional work, I tend to make the same, do something I know how to do over and over and over again. And I'm really interested in finding out how other people do things so that I can kind of, uh, come up, learn about different approaches. So I'm really interested in learning about different approaches to making work. I don't know
so
if
so
other
you
people
would,
are interested or in that or not, but that's what
What
I'm
would you
yeah,
interested.
do? You would have somebody whose speciality is a certain thing come in and
Yeah, just do like a quick demo and then a discussion with questions and answers. That's what I'm interested in, or one of the things I'm interested in.
I'm writing this down. That's why I'm looking down. Questions and answers. Are you thinking like each person bring in something and then they share about how they
Yeah,
accomplished it?
sure.
Or
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
instead of one person for the whole
yeah.
thing? Because
Like,
it's,
yeah. So, yeah, I floated this idea at the
hmm,
community college in Santa Fe, but I don't think it's going to take necessarily. But the idea, like what if you had four people and each one does like a 15-minute demo?
oh, that's a good idea.
I don't know, that's just the way my brain works.
Yeah,
But
I like that too.
Good.
Yeah, yeah, I like that too. Yeah, Cyril, do you like that too?
I
So
do.
we could have that as our theme for the next one too.
Yeah.
Each person bring in something that they do that works for them,
It's like
or something they learned
each
well,
of us
so
here,
and
what would we
share.
share?
Yeah. And you guys know how to share screen and everything.
Right.
So you could,
Like,
have the piece. in-
one thing you can do is you can reach out to the membership and say like, okay, who has something to share? And you can also say who has something they want to learn. And so then you have these parallel kind of
Right. Right.
ideas and see how they can, work together.
Aurelia, could you write that down and send it to me? I'm
Yeah,
trying to write as you're speaking,
sure.
That's
but it's
great.
hard.
Could you send me
I
can
like
you
that.
tell me what your email is? Because I didn't see it in the chat.
Diane, me?
Yeah.
Mine?
Hmm.
Oh, it's at the top of the chat at 4:53. Storyscapes, like story, tell me a story,
Right.
STORY.
Hmm.
Scapes, like landscapes of the mind, SCAPES,
At
at
cybermesa.com, right? Yeah.
cybermesa.com.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, I like that idea. I want to do that for the next one.
Yes.
Put something out into the community um, for something to share. And what was the second part?
Something you want to learn.
I'm gonna go walk my dog.
Okay.
Oh, okay,
We
Kristen.
have to say how I
Thank you.
really
Yeah, thank
appreciate
you,
you,
Kristen.
Kristen.
Oh,
I
It
thank
was
you.
enjoyed it.
fabulous.
Wonderful.
Come again
You're
anytime.
amazing.
I could also run a share work meeting for you and ask questions.
Oh, that's
A
great.
share work
That would be
meeting?
great.
You mean where we do this
Share
and
work, and
share,
I would
and
set
then
up a structure, like we'd time it, and then I would ask the person 3 or 4
That's
questions.
very generous of
And
you, Kristen.
I would tell you, I would lecture on how to do an acknowledgement as distinct from a critique, and
Uh-huh.
then just take them through the structure of sharing work.
Wow.
Sounds
Is
good.
that fits into what you were
Yeah.
saying, right?
And
Aurelia?
you just tell me how many people, and I'd figure out the timing, how long, and usually we do like 3, 4 minutes, which means you look at the piece without talking,
Mhm.
no oohs and ahs, nothing. And then we would ask the artist a question and then go around the room and acknowledge that person for quality of that piece. And they could also, on the screen, they could put their piece and they could do with their phone a short video going around the whole piece and then put that up on the screen, the full screen, the piece.
Well, that's a little different, it sounds to me, than what Aurelia was saying, which was show a technique.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%. No, I was just putting that idea out there. I
Oh,
wasn't saying instead of.
okay, that's it.
Oh, no,
But
her idea is
thank you.
brilliant. Yeah, I just
Yeah,
thought I could run a work sharing. I'm offering that, that's all. Okay.
that's really sweet of you. Um, so
Okay, I'm
let's
gonna
see,
go.
something
Bye.
to
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
That was fun.
yeah, thank you. And Aurelia, if you send me that, and Krista, if you send me that, and I think the
Oh,
holidays are
okay, I
here.
will. I will.
So probably, what do you think? Mid-January?
You're not talking to me, are you?
I'm talking to everybody.
Okay, yeah. Oh, your next meeting would be in 2 months? Is that how you guys do it every 2 months?
I
Well,
think
we don't
quarterly
have
is
a
good.
time, but I know that holidays are
Yeah, I
insane.
think, already everything is really amping up with sales
It
and
is.
stuff
It
like that.
is really amping up. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I've got relatives coming in from Britain, and my windows are going to be torn out of the house when they come, and no doors. So it's going to be really interesting.
Well,
So we'll think about January, and we'll all be in touch. And this
Okay.
was lovely. Thank you
Thanks,
so much
Diane.
for all of your
Thanks
sharing.
for
It was
organizing.
just great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay,
All
bye.
right. Bye bye.